Hey, guess who totally forgot to record today's video after streaming and has to do it last minute? This guy. Hello, everybody. So, with that said, hi, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another one of our weekly Jujutsu Kaisen discussion videos. Today we're talking all about episode 21, Jujutsu Kaisen. Definitely said that wrong. But before we get to the video proper, quick reminder if you haven't done so yet to hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, set notifications to all, let all of AniTube know that you're here. And without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get into this thing. I am literally recording this at my computer desk, which I never do. I don't record these videos here. I stream here. And if I'm super honest, a part of me wanted to just chop up the reaction that we did on the second channel and do that instead of a discussion video. Honestly, guys, I'm running out of steam in these discussion videos, not just for Jujutsu Kaisen, just I'm like it's across the board. I do talk too much, that is a thing, but I do feel like I like the reaction format more. That's just me, but you know, topic for another time. I guess we could talk about that later. But episode 21 is, in my opinion, a much needed and much deserved relaxing sort of wind down type of episode. And I think it's interesting to me how fun this was. And I talked about this during the reaction, which you could check out on the second channel, both in the card in this video or in the description. The link should work. I know some people say it doesn't. It should. I checked. But the interesting thing to me about this week's episode is the fact that A, it's as fun as it was, and B, the fact that it still manages to be dramatic. Like, we do get like a pretty heavy exposition dump at the beginning of this week's episode, and it never stops feeling like there's still stakes. We see a lot of Itadori, and in this week just like laughing and having fun with everybody else. Meanwhile, Douchey Principal and Kiryu Principal are sort of talking about what to do with Itadori. And it's still sort of like, you can tell there's still tension in the air. People still aren't sure what to really do or make of Itadori as this sort of vessel for Sukuna. And I think they handle it really well because it's paired with him laughing and joking and getting along with everybody, including people like Noritoshi, who are genuinely starting to see why people gravitate towards Itadori. He's not a bad guy. And yeah, he is the vessel for something horrific. And I've even seen people in the comments make the argument for the principal, saying like, if you were in his shoes, you'd kind of understand. And the principal himself even says, it's not about whether I hate or don't hate this kid. I have no feelings on the kid. I don't know the kid. He doesn't say that much, but he's implying it, right? Like, it's not a love-hate thing. It's entirely he's the vessel for Sukuna, and he, by Jujutsu law, shouldn't even exist. But again, I mentioned this during the reaction, I'm going to say it again here. Maybe the Jujutsu laws are broken and need to be changed anyway. Maybe the laws are older than you are and you're old as dirt. You know what I mean? Listen, I definitely changed my tune when I found out that the principal was a badass guitar playing dude. Definitely changed my tune on him, but I don't appreciate the way that he's acting towards my boy. I still understand it though. And that's the great thing about this episode, is even as this conversation's happening, because it's paired with Itadori laughing and joking, and the principal is seeing this, because the principal's there, he's watching this happen. And he's watching people that he told to kill Itadori laughing and joking with him. When Todo gets a baseball to the face, which we'll talk about, and everybody all agrees, like, nice toss, like, nice hit, like, all this stuff, like, nice throw. Like, everybody joking about the fact that Todo just got laid the freak out. They all sort of laugh and joke, and the only one not laughing and joking is Itadori, because he's like, Todo, they really hate you. Right? And the principal's watching this. The principal sees these students who he told to kill him laughing with him instead. And I think that did sort of shake him. And the idea that Kiryu Principal, whose name I will learn one day, I promise, but it is not this day, Kiryu Principal telling him, like, dude, maybe we should be keeping an eye on him instead. There's nothing wrong with just keeping an eye on him and making sure that he stays on the right track. We don't know what's going to happen, so why don't we let it play out? Like, he's not a bad kid. He's genuinely a good kid, and he's doing good, and he could be a benefit instead of a hindrance like you seem to think he is. And I think they just absolutely nailed that this week. I thought it was just this perfect blend of dramatic, this dramatic talk about what to do with Itadori. Like is he truly this bad vessel for Sukuna, or is he just a kid? Like, is he just a dumb kid who just wants to have fun and be badass and save people? When Noritoshi asks him, like, why did you become a sorcerer? He said, I just want to die surrounded by people, and I want to help other people get that. And Noritoshi just tells him, that's a damn good reason, as he's getting striked out. And that's the other thing, too. We talked about the dramatic stuff. I want to gush a little bit about the fact that this was just a funny-ass episode. And it goes, like, across the board. It's not just the Tokyo kids that are really funny, and we know that they are. It's also the Kyoto kids. Like, with the fact that, like, Mekamaru's still out of commission because of Panda. So their replacement for Mekamaru is just a straight-up batting cage, right? It's just, like, a straight-up batting machine. And they're like, that's a pitching machine! Like, that's not fair. That's not Mekamaru. He's not in there. And Mai's like, what? I don't know what you're talking about. That's Mekamaru. You're crazy. I don't know what to tell you. That's Mekamaru. That's yeah. I don't know. You must be spoken the good stuff, because that's who Mekamaru is. Definitely not the fact that Panda crushed Mekamaru, that we had to replace him with the pitching machine. No, I don't know what you're talking about. Right? Like, that whole thing was hilarious. You get the scene with, again, Noritoshi getting totally, like, striked out as he's trying to have a conversation. Little Witch Academia catching the ball, and everybody thinking that was really unfair, including me. That felt really unfair. In general, it was just a really funny episode, and it's funny because I asked for this. There's been times with the show where I just wanted to take like a second to breathe, because like I adore this show. Again, I've said before that this really has the potential to be a 10 out of 10 series. And it just depends on how the next few episodes go. At this point, we're on episode 21. I believe we're getting 24 episodes, which means there's only 3 more to go. I'm not sure what we're going to spend the last 3 episodes talking about, but the fact that we do get to spend a second to breathe and just like actually enjoy the moment, it's nice, and it's a good change of pace. Like, I do think you need this sometimes, especially after the insane dramatics that we've been going through with Jujutsu Kaisen. The fact that like Itadori's been through the ringer, like the fact that everybody like felt his loss, like felt that death, and then he comes back only to save their ass and have this crazy showdown with Hanami, and he teams up with Todo, and it's friggin' like Gojo uses infinity once, and then he uses the power of the fucking color purple to blow shit up. Like, it's a lot. It's a lot to take in. Everything with Junpei, right? Like, you don't even get a breath from that. Like, the Junpei stuff happens, and then it's time to whoop ass, and we gotta fight Hanami. Like there's no break. And and while that is Jujutsu Kaisen's greatest strength, it's also important to just take an episode to breathe, right? One of my biggest complaints about My Hero Academia, and I paused because, like, I need to stress that, like, I love My Hero. I really do. Like, My Hero Season 2 is in, like, my top 10 shows of all time. I think that Season 2 of My Hero is friggin' flawless. Like, I love Season 2. And I love pretty much every season of My Hero, with the exception of the first season. The reason why I'm bringing it up is because the one thing that My Hero does that kills me is that it will take tons of time between the hype moments, right? It's one of the things that made me gravitate towards Jujutsu Kaisen so much. It's the fact that there is no time between hype moments. The whole thing is a hype moment, right? And the fact that it took this long, 21 episodes in, to just relax, right? 21 episodes in. It's something that I felt like the series needed, but at the same time, I applauded them for not taking. The fact that they were just like, no, we're gonna go, and we're gonna go, and we're gonna keep going, and keep going, and keep going, and more drama, and more drama, and more hype, and more hype, and more sad, right? Like, it just keeps going. And the fact that it takes 21 episodes to finally calm the hell down, I actually really appreciate that, right? Like, the fact that they were like, no, we need a breather episode, but the breather episode is going to be super funny and still kind of hype, right? Seeing the baseball match between the two Jujutsu Tech schools, like the two the two branches of Jujutsu Tech, it's fun. And I do think that, like, yeah, I would have liked to have seen the individual battles. That was my big complaint, I guess, if I have a complaint about this week's episode, is I was a little annoyed with my husbando. My husband decided to make them play baseball, and I wanted to see the individual battles, because baseball as a sport is, how you say, boring. Super boring. I wish they were playing hockey instead, or basketball, or literally anything other than baseball. But it's Jujutsu Kaisen, so they actually somehow managed to make baseball entertaining. I don't know how they did that, but they did that. It was probably because they had Todo. And that's the other thing, too, I want to talk about. Todo and Itadori, they mentioned this, and I don't know how to feel about it. I think it's really funny. And it's the fact that Itadori is like, when Fushiguro brings up, like, what was up with you and Todo? Or I think it was Kugisaki brings up, like, what was up with you and Todo? And he's like, I don't know, man. Like, it was weird. That's the other thing, too. Those three eating pizza was life, right? I'm like, I just want to see these three be happy. And those three just eating pizza in Fushiguro's room, just kind of like hanging out, was really nice. And the fact that she brings up, like, what was up with you and Todo? Like, well, that was weird. And he's like, I don't know. I don't know. It was weird. I wasn't really in my right state of mind. She's like, were you drunk? Which is funny, right? Because, like, at the same time, we talked about the fact that it did seem weird and sudden that Itadori was just like, this is my best friendo. But it didn't matter because it was hype, right? But now that we have a second to calm down, it's like, yeah, why did you guys become friends so quickly? I guess, like, beyond the fact that you guys are just, like, naturally a good fit, like, just two people who are naturally would be best friends. Like, why did you become best friends, right? Like, it's interesting. And the fact that he says, like, I don't know, it just kind of happened. And Todo is still really going off about the whole best friends thing. He even says, like, my best friendo's friends, right? He's like, yes. What? It just appears behind him. Or no, my brother's friends, right? That's what it is. My brother's friends. He's like, yes. Oh my God, right? He freaks out and runs out of the room. And he even says, like, I don't know, man, I wasn't thinking straight. That line cracks me up. And I do think it's interesting to note that it's like, why did they become friends? My best guess is because he was just sort of in the zone, right? Like, you know how athletes get in the zone, right? I think, and I could be wrong about this, but I think in Kuroko no Basuke they mentioned the zone, right? I haven't seen that show. I should. Maybe I'll watch it on the second channel. Or reactions to it on the second channel. You know what I mean? But, you know, sports, like, athletes have the zone, right? And I do think that sorry, my phone's going on. I do think that the zone exists for fighters as well. I don't watch a lot of MMA. I should, but I believe it's the same thing for MMA fighters, where when you're in the zone, you're just sort of going off instinct. You're just kind of believing whatever your your mind, your first instinct is, right? So if your instinct says punch that dude in the face, you're gonna punch that dude in the face. If your instinct says this guy's my best friend, then you're gonna say that guy's my best friend. So I think it was mostly just the fact that Itadori was, like, absolutely running on pure friendship, like pure zone logic. So the fact that he felt like Todo was somebody he could confide in and be a friend because he was in the zone, he just said all that shit. He just did all that shit. And he followed what Todo said, and it worked. And it put him in the zone, and he was able to land Black Flash, like, friggin' 4 times. Right? So, like, actually, technically 5. It's just he landed it consecutively 4 times. And then he hit it once before that, which is crazy. So that's interesting. Like, I do think that maybe that's a good explanation. I could be way off base. Only other thing I have to say in this ramble is that Miwa is awesome. Miwa's here, and she was great. We need more scenes with Miwa. Miwa's top tier. But with that said, everybody, that is going to wrap up today's video here. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to boop that up snoot, share if you care, leave a comment down below, and of course, make sure that you hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, set notifications to all, let all of AniTube know that you're here. And before we go, as always, I want to give a big thank you to the good folks in the T Squadron. Look at these beautiful people. Look at all these beautiful names. And hey, if you would like to join these beautiful people, there are 2 ways to do so. The first is by hitting that join button right beside the sub button. That gets you a badge next to your name, some emotes to spam in the comments, and of course, your name scrolling past the screen here. Or you could check out that Patreon link in the description. Either way, it is super, super appreciated. So once again, a big thank you to the good folks in the T Squadron. Would you guys be horribly upset if I started doing reactions for certain series? I don't know, like, I feel like I talk in circles a lot. And I feel like maybe if I do, like some people find that fun, and that is kind of part of the whole, you know, like lo-fi hip-hop energy of the channel. But I do want to start doing more reactions. But the thing is, when I do a reaction, I forget to record my thoughts after because I'm still doing the rest of a stream, right? So like I'll do a reaction and then I still have another 2 hours of stream and then I forget to record a video. I don't know. I feel like the answer is probably no, because anytime I try to make any change, everybody loses their minds. So maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. Anyway, bye!